So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Planets Through Navamsa series. And today we're going to be covering Sun in the 8th house of your Navamsa chart. And what happens when Sun, Surya, is in the 8th house of your D9 Navamsa chart. And as always, if you do not know if you have this Sun and what other planetary placements you have in Navamsa, I need a birth chart. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching, or have taught actually, which you can view the lessons on this new technique of nakshatra with dharma and karma. So, as you know, Navamsa chart is one of the most important charts in Vedic astrology. It tells a whole lot about our life, especially about our marriage, our inner workings, and how we're developing inside that eventually comes out, through progression of life. So eighth house, as you know, in the Navamsa chart, is the house of joint assets. It's the house of life of marriage. It is the house of your spouse's family, your spouse's lineage, and it is also naturally the house of reincarnation and rebirth and transformation and changes. So naturally what sun is this bright entity that lights up everything. Okay, now this doesn't mean that sun is a giver of life. I think that's a bit of a wrong perception we have, because if sun is a giver of life, and if let's say you were to be on the moon, can you survive on the moon? You'll get burned in like 2 seconds. Let's say if you go to any other planet, will you stay there? No. If let's say this earth did not have the ozone layer, okay, will you be able to survive? No. I mean, if you like watch that movie, I think it's called The Core, you can see there's a scene when, because the ozone layer finds a hole inside, person gets burned within seconds. So sun is not a giver of life. The giver of life is this earth that actually, due to its protective shields, takes some advantage of the light that sun gives and gives us life. So what sun signifies is that wherever it sits, it simply just gives light and burns. That's its karma, that's its dharma, that's its consciousness. Like, for example, a consciousness of a lion is to hunt and kill. Whether it's a human, whether it's an animal, whether it's a deer, they want to do that. That's their dharma. So the dharma of the sun is to light things. Light things, and through that light, it's able to burn things. And usually, sun and moon are these two planets that stay quite neutral, including even Mercury in the 8th house. It is the condition of these planets that can truly determine if they're going to be bad or good, is by conjunction and aspects and their sign placements. But usually what happens with this particular sun is that a person's main concern within the marriage, main focus within the marriage, will always be towards the joint assets. How much are we accumulating? What is the problem that as to why we can do anything? Why? Because this, imagine if you're like in a dark room and just this one portion is lit up and your eyes is always there. So what happens is your focus is always there. So sun becomes this focal point. Like, where is this light? So you somehow, some way, this person will always somehow keep their eye on the joint assets. They will also somehow be trying to understand this family of the spouse, really trying to know them, really trying to see what is happening with them. And sun, because of its powerful force and because of its force of burning things, unless something has a protective shield, usually shows that the married life is filled with strong responsibilities of keeping up a certain status, keeping up a certain image. Because sun is a regal planet, it's a royal king. And when this person has this particular planet, they their married life tends to survive on status, survive on being the king. And if that doesn't work out, they feel the burn. So psychologically, unless the status is there, they're gonna do fine. If the status is not there, they're gonna feel like that they're burning up. They're irritated. And sun, most definitely, due to its full aspect, upon the second house, will give also money and wealth to this person through marriage. Because see, the aspect becomes much lighter than where the sun is. So it kind of lights up the second and eighth axis for the person. And also, what we see is that this person will create a lot of secret, hidden political connections. They will know people that you may not even think that they can make connections with, but secretly they will be trying to make connections with those people. Secretly, they will be able to have powerful connections with them. They will use for their advantage. And sun in the eighth house, most definitely, one thing I do see though is it tends to bring major conflicts with authorities. This person has a problem with authorities. They do not like to deal with authorities because they feel like they're the authority. They feel like they're the authority. So that's one of the major things that they have to kind of deal with in their life. Unless they're doing their own business, they will always run in conflicts with in their workspace and with authoritative figures. And one of the other great benefit that they have is they usually get a home which is quite powerful in its look, in its ambience, and they're most definitely able to control their home, their home space. They kind of rule over that home space. So these are some of the things. Now the thing is, obviously, we don't know how your sun is, whether it's in Aries, Gemini, Cancer, it's in a masculine sign, feminine sign, it's in a fiery sign, earth sign. Those things kind of will neutralize, aggravate, or bless this particular sun for an individual. And obviously, sun in the eighth house will always have a person, always keep their part of their soul towards hidden knowledge, occult, and mysticism. So sun in the eighth house is actually one of those common places where a person always tend to find the light. They always tend to find the light through secret knowledge. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of sun in the eighth house for Navamsa chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you don't know where your sun is placed, all the other astrological details, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.